If you've invested into a guaranteed placement program within the high ticket sales space, you will not win by doing that. Trust me. In this video, I'm going to explain why you should never be reliant on someone else to hand you winning opportunities within this space. Instead, I'll show you how to become autonomous, and in other words, in translation, make some mega money. If you're new here, I'm Jax, and on this channel I share everything related to the high ticket sales space, as well as some other aspects so you can improve your life as a man. Smash the subscribe button if you haven't already. So what is guaranteed placement? Guaranteed placement is a program that typically ranges anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 or anywhere in between. So you pay for that course to get the knowledge on how to learn sales, but also at the end, once they deem you are fairly competent with your sales skills, a part of that 5 to 10K investment and part of the program, they will place you on an offer. So they'll place you with a company that they've got in their network. Once you've built up the skills over like a few weeks, couple months, when they place you, you're happy because that's a part of the deal that they're upholding, right? And the person that owns the coaching program is also happy because they, once you perform on that offer, they'll get a kickback by the person that owns that company. So they get paid twice off you. You pay 5 to 10 grand initially for entering the program, and once they place you and you start to perform, they generally get a kickback from the company that they place you with. Anywhere from 5 grand or upwards that they get. Now, I know what you're thinking. Oh, that's okay, it's a win-win situation. But a lot of the time what they don't tell you is the offer that they place you on is shit. People aren't making the money you want to be making. Let's say the lead flow is bad, or the product itself is quite frankly average. Or maybe it's even a scam. And let's say you want to leave that company that they placed you with. Then what? Then what happens? You go back to the person that you've done the coaching program with and ask them to place you with a different company. But they don't care because they've already upheld their part of the deal. They were going to train you, which they did, and they were going to place you, which they did. It's not their fault that it didn't work out. Now it means you're back to square one. You're either on a shit offer or you've jumped off there. So you've either got no job or a job, purely because you haven't learned the skills required to actually get top performing offers and top performing companies. So now what you're going to do when you're back to square one is you're going to repeat the same cycle. Invest into another paid placement community until either you, number one, quit high ticket sales, or number two, invest into a program where they actually teach you the offer acquisition skills. If you haven't learned the following skills within this industry, it will destroy your longevity moving forward. The 3 main aspects that you need to learn is number 1, personal branding, number 2, networking, and number 3 is your interviewing skills and offer vetting skills. So with the first point, personal branding, you need to make sure that your social media accounts are set up. So have a clean name, have a clean bio, and also on Instagram, make sure you've got your full 9 squares filled up. We'll be predominantly optimizing for Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram, as this is where the most business owners and sales reps are. And there's also some high ticket sales bubbles on each of these platforms. So aside from the obvious of making sure there's no festival photos, making sure there's no photos of you drinking or looking drunk, looking like you're on drugs, make sure they are clean, professional photos on all of your social media page. Now, once you've got the foundation set up, you will start to produce content. So content documenting the journey, sharing some learnings that you've learned in the sales space, maybe something happened on an offer that you want to share with your audience. It's all about building an established brand, creating credibility within this space. This doesn't happen overnight, but over time you'll start to build an ecosystem of business owners, of sales reps, all people that can potentially benefit you in the long term. Nothing else matters if your personal brand isn't set up, because a lot of recruiters and job interviewers will review your personal brand, making sure you represent the company or the potential company that you will be working for in a positive manner. Now, the second skill is having a targeted networking strategy and a networking approach. Once your socials are set up, you've been producing some content, now is a time when you start to outreach to these business owners and these sales reps. So first of all, you want to start by interacting with their posts, interacting with their stories, swiping up, sliding into the DMs, nice and naturally and authentically. Do an analysis by who follows who and figure out what companies people work for. And when you understand that X rep works for Y company, you want to connect with them, but you do this on scale, remember? You want to connect with them. And then also on LinkedIn, you can go into the companies that you want to potentially be working for, which you can find these companies on ads. You search up e-commerce, for example, on Google. The companies that come up, they're obviously paying for advertising and they would generally have a high ticket offer. So we find the company on LinkedIn, go into the people section and filter by sales. So once you've got all your LinkedIn profiles set up, You've got now all of the sales reps for the company that you want to work for. Then you follow the same strategy, like and engage with their content, slide into their DMs. Now, once you're in the DMs talking to them, the next goal, and this is the only goal with the networking strategy, is to jump on a Zoom call with them. When you hop on a Zoom call with them, make sure you're not a weirdo or anything. Just ask them some questions, do some research about their social media profiles, what they're selling, about the companies they're working for, and just have a nice conversation with them. Then at the end of the meeting, you want to ask them, is there anything that you can help them with so you can provide some value to that network? And then do this on scale, because time takes time. Then a few days later, send them a message and let them know that you have decided you want to pursue a position within whatever niche they're selling in. So let's say they were selling on an e-commerce offer. Then you want to let them know, hey, I've decided after some further consideration that I want to pursue a role with the company within the e-commerce space. Then you ask them, if you were me, what would you do to land a role with one of these top companies? So they're either going to give you some advice here or they're going to refer you to their company. Just remember, with this strategy, time takes time. It's an absolute volume game. Now on to the third tip of offer interviewing skills and offer vetting skills. Before we go into this, make sure you add me on Instagram at Jax Eaton. So you're on these Zoom call interviews with one of these top companies. Make sure you are professional. It's that simple, but it goes over the head of everyone that I talk to. Make sure you're wearing a polo, nice watch if you've got one. Go and get a haircut so you're prepared. Have some nice lighting, have a nice backdrop like this. Put some books in the background to increase your perceived intelligence. But aside from this obvious, this is where we can really stand out from the other people, is by asking some in-depth questions. Yeah, don't get me wrong, you've got to learn how to have some good responses to their questions, but it's all about the questions that you ask the interviewer at the end. So to get these questions prior to the interview, you want to spend anywhere from 30, maybe 45 minutes researching the company from A to Z, as you want to know some basic information about their offer and about their product, because they will most likely test you this on the interview. Now we're doing some research, figure out a few questions that are tailor-made to the company and where it's going. And you also on the interview want to ask what the company's revenue is, what their cash collection rate is, what their top setters are earning, what their top closers are earning, and also what the setter and closer comms are. Having the answer to these questions are absolutely invaluable, because it allows you to realize if there are actually some good earning potential on that offer. So if you want to jump with one company and make, let's say, 10K a month, but the top closer is doing $5,000 a month, you don't have that earning potential on that offer. Yeah, you might, but it's not proven. You want to stack all the chips in your corner and go into a proven offer. If someone is on that offer making the money you want, being someone's making 10 grand a month and you want 10K a month, go for it, all right? So this was a rough outline of how to combat guaranteed placement within the high ticket sales space. This is to make sure you're never reliant on someone again for your money-making opportunities. You need to take control of that. Popping up on screen now is the video that explains exactly how I make 10K a month. I'll see you over there, all right?